I still remember that day, even though many years have passed. Our neighborhood yard was always full of noise and laughter. Kids ran around, played games, and made up adventures. But our favorite thing to do was play soccer. 2 old bricks for goalposts, a scuffed-up ball that had lost its shine, and a team of friends. That was all we needed to feel like real champions. In that game, I ended up on the opposite team from my best friend, Emily. She was an amazing player, fast, focused, and always in the right place at the right time. And what impressed everyone the most was that she was never afraid to compete with the boys. That day, we played for a long time. The sun was already dipping low in the sky, and the score was tied. Then came the big moment, the final chance to win. I got the ball, ran past 2 defenders, and was just about to score, when suddenly, Emily dashed in and kicked the ball right out from under my foot. It rolled past the goal and I fell to the ground. Everyone started laughing, but I didn't find it funny. It felt like she did it on purpose, just to show she was better than me. "You ruined everything," I shouted, jumping to my feet. Emily froze, her eyes full of hurt. "It's just a game," she said sharply. "A game? You're just jealous because I was about to win," I snapped, not even thinking how mean that sounded. She turned around without saying another word and walked off the field. The ball was left lying in the grass, and everyone stared at me. And in that moment, I felt something new. A game that was supposed to bring us together had just torn me apart from my best friend. The next day, the yard was just as loud as always. The boys gathered to play soccer again. Someone rode a bike around. Others drew with chalk on the pavement. But for me, everything felt different. Emily wasn't there. I sat on the bench pretending not to care, but inside I felt tight and empty. She was always nearby, either playing on the field or just sitting with me afterward, making up silly jokes. And now she was gone. Friends asked what happened, why we weren't together anymore. I just shrugged. It's nothing. We just had a fight. But the truth was, nothing felt fun without her. I played, but it didn't feel good. Even when I won, it didn't bring any joy. Because my teammate and my rival, the one who made the game special, had disappeared. A few days later, we ran into each other at school. She was laughing with her friends, but the moment she saw me, she went quiet. I wanted to say something, but the words got stuck in my throat. She gave me a quick look and then turned away. That's when I realized a fight between friends hurts way more than any loss in a game. Because in a game, you can lose and try again tomorrow. But in friendship, once trust is broken, fixing it isn't so easy. Another week passed. Emily and I still weren't talking. I saw her every day, at school, in the yard, on the walk home, and she acted like I didn't exist. And I started to feel that I'd done something truly wrong. I remembered yelling at her, "You're just jealous." I was angry back then and wanted to prove I was better. But the more I thought about it, the more I realized how unfair those words were. Emily had always been there for me. She supported me when I messed up. She laughed at my dumb jokes, even the ones that didn't land. She chose to play soccer with me when she could have just gone off with the girls to swing, and I paid her back with an insult. One evening, I sat in my room, turning our old soccer ball in my hands and thinking, did I really lose my best friend over one game? I felt so ashamed I wanted to hide under the covers. But at the same time, I knew I had to do something. The silence between us was becoming unbearable. But how do you walk up and say sorry? What do you even say? Those questions kept spinning in my head. It took me a while to gather my thoughts, but I finally decided I had to act. The next day after school, I found Emily sitting on a swing in the yard reading a book. My heart was beating so fast I thought it might leap out of my chest. I walked up to her and nervously said, "Hey." She looked up, but there was no warmth in her eyes, only cold indifference. "What do you want?" she asked flatly. I froze. I had all the right words in my head, but now they scattered like sand through my fingers. All I managed to mumble was, back then, at the game, I didn't mean to." Emily sighed and turned away. "You said I was jealous." That wasn't fair. Her words hit harder than any soccer ball to the chest. My throat tightened. I wanted to defend myself, but deep down I knew there was no excuse. "I'm sorry," I finally said. She stayed silent, closed her book, got up, and walked away without looking back. I stood there alone. My first apology didn't work, but strangely, I didn't feel like giving up, because if she was still upset, that meant she still cared, and that gave me hope. I thought for a long time about how to show Emily that she meant more to me than any game. The idea came to me as I held our old soccer ball, the one we used to play with from the very beginning, back when it was still shiny and new. I wiped off the dust, grabbed some colored markers, and wrote in big letters, "Friendship is worth more than winning." Later, when Emily came back outside, I walked up and gently placed the ball at her feet. I didn't say a word. I just looked her in the eyes. She looked surprised at first, then leaned down to read the message. Her lips twitched like she was trying not to smile, but instead of laughing, her eyes filled with tears. "You really mean that?" she asked quietly. I nodded. "I was wrong. I hurt you, and you didn't deserve it." She picked up the ball carefully, as if it were the most precious gift. Then she smiled, that same genuine smile I'd missed so much. "All right," she said, gently tossing the ball back to me. "But now we play fair." I laughed, and in that moment, the weight I'd carried for a week finally lifted. Many years have passed, and that old soccer ball is long gone, probably lost somewhere in the neighborhood, but the words I wrote on it still live inside me. Friendship is worth more than winning. That was the first time I truly understood something important. Wins and losses fade away. No one remembers that game anymore, who scored, who missed. But I'll never forget how I felt during our silence and the relief when we made up. Friendship isn't about the score. It's about knowing how to support each other, forgive, and stay close, even when things get tough. A true friend is someone who matters more than any match. And now, when I watch my own kids argue over toys or who gets to go first, I smile and think, I've been through that too. And I learned the most important thing. Friendship is something you protect, even if it means letting go of victory. Because winning lasts a moment. But friendship, that can last a lifetime. Thank you for spending this time with me. If you enjoyed the story, give it a like and don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss the next one.